Hi guys, Miss.Kori here, and I'm just going to show you how to make an EcoSphere. An EcoSphere is a self-contained, self-sustaining miniature world, and it includes 3 parts with air, water, and land. But how does it work, you ask? The light with carbon dioxide in the water enables the algae to produce oxygen by photosynthesis. And did you know that our soil outside contains 8 to 15 tons of bacteria, arthropods, fungi, protozoa, nematodes, and earthworms? Wow! You need these simple items: a jar with a lid, water, substrate, small pebbles, moss, and twigs and rocks. We just chose to go to the creek by our house. It's important to choose a water source such as a creek, a pond, or a lake. First, we have to grab the substrate. You want to choose a part of the creek that has decaying leaves, mud, twigs, and dirt. This is an extra super fun and squishy part. And don't forget, the mud holds thousands of microorganisms. Next, we need to grab a few small pebbles. You can also look for any nifty rock that may have moss on it or anything that just makes it special that you want to put in your EcoSphere. Third up is the moss. You want to choose moss that is growing near or inside of the water, so that way you can make sure that it survives in the water of the EcoSphere. Also, grab a few plants. Just make sure that you grab from the roots so that you can plant them in your EcoSphere. Next up are the sticks. Just pick up a few roots or sticks from alongside the creek so that we can add decoration to our EcoSphere. This is also for the microorganisms to climb on. Last up is the water. Just make sure you get enough to cover your EcoSphere and it's coming from the creek that you are getting your supplies from. Next, we're going to put together our EcoSphere. We're going to grab our jar and start preparing our supplies. First, you grab our substrate with it all ooey gooey and squish it to the bottom of our jar. This can be a really fun part. Squish, squish. Then, after this, we need to add some water so that we can help our substrate stay down at the bottom of the jar. Next, we're going to take some of the pebbles that we picked up at the creek and drop them in. At this point, you're also going to put in any kind of special moss-covered rocks that you may have found and put them in as well. The next thing we want to do is add a nice thick layer of moss on top of that. And then you can add in any of the plants that you have picked up alongside the creek. Just make sure that the roots go down into the substrate so that they can take root again and replant themselves. After this, we're going to add just a tiny bit more water to hold everything in place. And then we're going to start adding some of our decorations. First, I put in my twigs. Then I decided I was going to put in my nice piece of bark with a good piece of moss growing on it. After this, I decided to add in the long stick, which I used just in case some of those microorganisms grow legs and can crawl up. And lastly, you want to put the last piece of moss right on top. Now remember, you're going to fill up the rest with water and then add on your cap. Even though it's murky right now, in 2 to 3 days, it should be nice and clear and you should be able to see some of those microorganisms swimming around yourself. How awesome is that? Okay guys, I just wanted to show you my 5-day-old EcoSphere that I've had going on. I did the exact same things that I taught you guys how to do today. I've been seeing life in the EcoSphere since day one. It cleared up overnight, and then the next day I seen a worm and a beetle, so there's definitely things growing in there. So this is what yours will look like after you leave it a few days. They don't like movement, so just put them in the sun so that they can have life to the light to create that photosynthesis. And one more thing that you need to make sure that you do is take the lid off of your jar and just open it for 10 minutes a day to allow oxygen into the water. You only want to do this for 2 to 3 weeks, and after 2 to 3 weeks your miniature world will be self-sustaining and self-containing. Hi friends, Mrs. Kori just wanted to take a minute and tell you guys how much I miss you and I love you, and I hope that you guys are having a great time with your families. I hope you had a great time making an EcoSphere with me. Please send me any videos or feedback back so that I can know your story and how your EcoSphere turned out in the end. Bye guys, I love you and I hope to see you soon.